Basketball is my life. I have nothing else.
This is incredible. This is the best Grateful for I've ever heard.
Shooters. That's what we do.
Shooters, a basketball podcast. Let's go.
Get us in. Go.
You've got us this episode. Start us off.
All right. Shooters episode 6. First introduction for myself. I've got a new mic. How's that sound? But yeah, welcome in, Jack. Fresh off a new deal, I might say. We're just going to skip all the intros, all the pleasantries. New deal, Jack. Congratulations.
Wow, thank you very much. It is an honour for Tasmanians to be stuck with me for another 2 years, and for them to have to put up with my blackouts, my ugly faces, and all the good shenanigans, and running this podcast from Tasmania and Melbourne.
That's it. We just get it done, and I won't make you talk too much about it because you've just been on Media Street today. Firstly, the huddle with our own Liam, NBL's podcast. So he did a press conference as well. You're probably sick of saying the same old answers, but you know it's worth talking about a lot. I'll put it that way. It's a good.
Well,
it's a
yes,
good thing.
It's been a full-on day. Media for sure. Kind of the last couple days have been wild because obviously it was leaked, and then it was announced to the crowd after the game, and I'll talk about that because that was an incredible life moment for me. Pretty wild.
But was that actually the first time it was announced? It was just announced like that, rather than forget social media, forget the new age. We're going straight to the crowd,
straight to the people, and so that was crazy. So I got asked about it at halftime, and I was like, "What?" And then they're like, "Oh, it leaked." After the game, they're like, "Hey, like your stuff got leaked. We just want to announce it now in front of everyone." So we went over, and like the guys that do all the chatting and the talking were just like, Jack signed a 2-year deal, and that was crazy to hear 5,000 people scream, and then they started a Jack chant. So 5,000 people was chanting Jack, Jack, and that was wild, humbling experience for sure.
That's actually pretty damn cool. Like, I will admit, I didn't see that. I didn't watch that game. I just watched the highlights, but I'm not sure if that even came across on broadcast or anything. But it would have been pretty cool if it did, just to get that moment, because otherwise, the only way we're getting that insight is through this podcast. So lucky we do this thing, because I would not have noticed, even myself, that happened. That's pretty cool.
There you go. I got a Jack chant from 5,000 people, which made me tear up a little bit. It was a wild experience.
Wait, was the tearing up on the Jack chant the halftime or the full time?
Nah, the full time. This all happened. Right. Nah, so this all happened like 20 minutes after the game.
So they hinted at it halftime and then made you follow up on it after.
Yeah, so pretty much like the game broadcast would have hinted at it, but like no one in the crowd or anything would have known. So then we announced it kind of like officially to the 5,000 people that were at the game.
That's pretty damn cool, because I'm just used to, these days, everything's just like social media, leaks, and then that's the end of it. And sometimes it's like, I don't know, sometimes it almost ruins the moment, I think. Like, I know social media plays such a big part of it, but I feel like it still ruins a bit of it. But you guys are on a roll. That's 4 in a row right now.
Yes.
Is that correct, right? Yep.
Yes.
Are you fully crediting the Dominoes?
The Dominoes, they even got mentioned by Liam today, who was checking out this podcast, because who wouldn't? But we gotta keep it rolling with the Dominoes. We're gonna, I'm messaging Jex. We got a long road trip coming up, and saying they better be packed. They better be ready to go, spit shined, and making sure they're looking sharp for the boys to play.
It's actually, I like these things that they just kind of pick up, and I gotta admit, Liam was like, have you got any little, tidbits for me to add to our chat? And I'm just like, look, I'm going to slip the Dominoes line in there just because, let's make it a thing. But, and I also, post-game, I went to check who was in the post-game press conference. It wasn't yourself, but it was Farb, but I don't think he mentioned it, which, slightly disappointed me, but, it's all right.
Yeah, geez, Farb, come on now. He's been playing a lot of Dominoes too, so I'll have to get him on the media train. So,
what else?
We'll change it over to you right now. The switchy switch, the second wedding.
Yes. Shout out Vicar and Jack if you're listening. But yeah, that was my second wedding. It was another big day. To answer your question from last week, would I do anything differently or would I change it up? I don't know if I did anything differently. I kept the same thing. Just try to obviously capture the best moments. Haven't gone through much of the footage, but one cool thing that they did do differently was you've probably seen it. You're a TikTok man. You've probably seen a few people do it. The classic like NBA entrances where they kind of,
Yeah.
come out to that classic Chicago Bulls theme music and have some fun with it and do their own like introduction celebrations and stuff. So that was pretty cool.
Nice. So are you doing just photographs or are you doing video as well?
So both of them I was video only. So they had each time they had their own photographer, which was I will admit was very helpful because I basically just like shadowed them a bit because they're pros. They've done a lot more weddings than I have, so I just kind of like got some advice from them and they were very helpful.
Nice. So do you prefer doing video over photos? And then do you feel the same way in sport or?
It's a good question. I think this is something that I always talk to my brother about this because he does a bit of, so he works at the Carlton Footy Club. So he does video and photo as well. Mainly video, but every time I get asked this, let's just say I'm glad I do both because I feel like if you do, too much video, you feel like photo, same vice versa. But if I had to pick one, I reckon photography, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, most of your Instagram's photography.
Yes, that is true.
So
That is true. I just feel like, if I had to choose one, put it on record, I'm choosing that one.
There you go. Look at you, but you've become a decisive human being throughout this podcast experience.
Rapidly growing, just as a human being in general. Cool. But that was the highlight of my week. I'll tell you another milestone. You're not the only one that has achieved something pretty significant this week with your new 2-year deal. I reached 1K on Instagram followers, so if that's not worth celebrating, there you go. Just thought I'd throw that in there, but yeah, pretty big milestone. That was the highlight of my week, besides from the wedding, and that's all I got for you. Just a lot more basketball as well.
No, I love it. What post got you the most followers?
I'm gonna dive into this. I actually think it was Dyson Daniels' brother. I think he just shared something on his story of my photo of him. He was at the Melbourne Sydney game, so I just snapped a photo of him and chucked it up. He put it as his story, and got me a few more followers. So shout out Dash Daniels.
There you go, hitting 1,000.
Yeah, pretty big, I know. But anyway, what else did you learn from round 4 of the NBL?
Round 4, I think Sydney's legit.
Yes.
They're fun to watch. They've got a style of basketball. They know what they're about. They play in that drops with the guards fighting over, and then if you take bad shots or early ones, they're punching it back in your face. With Cooks leading the charge, DJ flying around shooting threes. Like the whole team's working well together with the deep bench, and they're a good team. They're fun to watch. I like tuning in for them and checking in on how they're doing. And it was a great game against Adelaide.
Yeah, no, for sure. I've already heard a few people throw around the line. It's theirs to lose. Their championship to lose already. So, hey, we'll see what happens. But it's always fun seeing how the guys sort of go backing it up. But Cairns and New Zealand as well, looking very, very sharp. So it's always good. I don't know. It's intriguing, these teams that I don't know, some people might not have had up in the top echelon of teams, but just to see how they play out is always good.
Yeah, I like it. I think I love the word identity.
Yes.
Like, does a team know what it is? Does it know how it's going to win? And then does it know how it's going to lose? Because you're going to lose some games, and there's a difference losing your way or then like losing. And so Cairns, they know their identity. They're long, they switch, and they're the same. They're punching it back down, shooting up lots of threes. Got some really good long athletes that play hard, and they're gonna punch some teams in the face this year, like they did us early in the year. They know what they're about, and they're a good basketball team.
For sure. And Keanu Pinder has had a hell of a season as well so far. Always nice. The other basketball news is bleach blonde Boomer Jack. If there's one time to bring back the bleach blonde hair, is it with the Boomers? Of course, the team got announced today. Your name was floating around there. Had to celebrate that as well.
Yeah, it's been a crazy 48 hours. That is for sure. Pretty good weekend, I must say. And the blonde hair, I might have to bring it back. More people voted yes on our poll than no. So who knows? Am I a bit scared of Big Scott Roth? Yes, I am. I'd be lying if I didn't say that's a big part of me not doing the blonde hair.
But has
because
he
he's a no
seen you with
nonsense
it?
dude, and
Yeah.
I don't want to, I don't want to. So who knows? We'll have to see how it goes.
Has he not seen it with like? Have you not been under him with blonde hair yet? Is that
No, no, it
is
was an
that?
off-season thing. So, and then by the time he
Uh,
saw me, the full brown hair was back because, I don't want to make any bad impressions.
Maybe just run it by him first. Just sneak it under. Just I'm sure you guys have catch ups. Just sneak it in there, and I'm sure he couldn't give a damn to be honest. But it's always worth asking.
Yeah, 100%. I'll have to check. Hey, Scotty, can I meet with you? Oh, what is it, Jack? I think I want to go blonde. Is that all right?
Yeah, my fashion sense.
Yeah,
That's what it's
yeah.
about.
I need your approval.
Rate or hate time. What have you got for me this week?
I got first off. I have a question because I'm not sure if we've asked it yet or not.
Go.
I think we have though. So this is why I want to check. Vegemite.
Ooh. I don't know if we've covered this very important Australian topic.
I agree. I
I'll rate.
agree. They need to know. So rate or hate Vegemite.
It's a rate. It's a rate. I know it's a unique taste, but
Yeah.
I do have it on very rare occasions. But I still have it.
What's your go-to? What's your go-to use of Vegemite?
Go to breakfast. I'm just going to change the topic because I'm way more passionate about my go-to breakfast. And
I like it. I like it. I like it. Tell me about your go-to breakfast.
So, this podcast just swings in many different directions. But my weird passion for afternoon tea. I'd say this actually is more. I'm more passionate about this, and that is thick cut raisin toast on the daily. Yes, that's right.
Well, can I continue your story, or would you like to keep talking about raisin toast?
No,
Because I would
no,
like to keep talking about raisin toast.
Yeah, absolutely. We can raisin toast pod separate
Okay,
podcast.
so we have we'll give some insiders into the Jack Jumpers. So we lift in the mornings. 7:30 we start. 7:15 you want to get there by until 8:30, and then we head over to our court, where we watch film and like the coach's office and players' lounge and stuff. So when we get up, there is like a food station. So we got the pikelets, we got some spreads, like we just got Nutella, peanut butter, like jam, all the regular essentials. But the number one most wanted, and that's always there, is just the butter with the fresh, thick cut raisin toast, and everyone's addicted. There's a line every morning. My little brother just got it. He's like, "This is the best!" Like it's taken over the Jack Jumpers. So maybe that's part of our culture building. Everyone eating raisin toast together.
And it's part of mine and yours bonding as well, just getting to know each other. Raisin toast is the way to go. And there's another element to this as well. Nobody does the cafe style raisin toast, I think they call the thick slices. Nobody does it like Aldi, would you believe?
Really?
I've tried Woolies, Coles, you name it, I've tried it. Nothing rivals raisin toast. And I don't care if the listeners don't want to listen to this anymore. It's a very good thing. Just give it a go, and it will be, semi life changing, I reckon.
So the Audi thick cut raisin toast gets Darren's stamp of approval, 10 out of 10.
Absolutely, strongest rate I'll ever have.
Wow, best raisin toast you can get anywhere.
I'd go as far to say that. I sometimes buy 2 loaves and put one in the freezer just so I don't miss out on the next week.
Well, stay tuned, Shooters Pod on Instagram, because this week myself and my little brother Lloyd are gonna buy this Audi raisin toast, and we're gonna try it. First time, we might even jump on the live and try it live, and we'll rate it out of 10 and we'll put Darren on the pressure.
I'm just picturing like literally just going live and all you see is eating raisin toast, and then it lasts like maybe a minute, and then it's like, cool, all right, we'll end the live and call it
There
a
you
day.
go, and we'll grab, and then we'll be eating more raisin toast.
Yeah, anyway, we really went on a tangent there, but actually, what's your go-to breakfast? What do you normally pick from that pile if raisin toast wasn't available?
No, so I pretty much have the same breakfast every day, no matter what. It's
LD
just,
raisin toast.
Nah, sadly, it's not raisin toast. Sadly. But mine's just a banana, like a smoothie. I just make a smoothie. Banana, like frozen berries, water in that, a little bit of creatine, a little bit of vanilla protein powder, and then some honey. And like I have like a couple like mushroom supplements that I have, and I have that every single morning.
Wow. All right. There's a lot more elements to your wake up routine than mine, but that's fine.
That's all right.
That's fine.
It doesn't take me long though. It's efficient. It takes me about 2 minutes to make it. So
That's all that matters. Vegemite. What was your stance?
we're not even talking about Vegemite. Nah, I hate it. I'm sorry. It's un-Australian of me, but not a big Vegemite guy. Can't get behind it.
It's that classic thing where I hate to dob ourselves in for at the NBL, but just it's that classic thing. As soon as imports enter new teams or the country, it's that classic thing to just be like, yeah, hey, try some Vegemite. Like this is really original. But in saying that, have you given Rashad and Milton some Vegemite? Is that a thing?
Well, not yet, but I'm sure at some point the media team will make them do it.
Of course, it's the obvious thing to do. I'm going to throw one at you. What's my first? Horror movies.
Wow.
But like, let's go like, not like the lame ones, like when they're actually quite scary. Yeah, everyone can admit that they get scared at some movies. So, serious ones.
So, I had like a cute little girlfriend. I'm like 14 or something at the time, and we're about to go on a date. And in my house, I got a 2-story house. I'm the only one that sleeps downstairs. So we went and watched Paranormal Activity. Remember when that first one came out? And there was like a kitchen scene, and my room's right next to the kitchen. Anyway, I was scared for months, like petrified, like scared to sleep downstairs. And I have never watched a horror movie since, and I probably never will. So I hate it.
Wow, really? You've only ever watched one horror movie?
Yep, scared me so bad that I was like, I never want to put myself through that again. I've watched a couple of like the Saws and stuff, but they're different. They're not really horror. They're more like gore, you might call them.
Yeah.
So, but horror, hate it. What about yourself?
Wow, that's like a strong one if you've never returned from your first attempt.
Yeah, sure.
Is it okay if I sit on the... No, I'll rate them. I feel like... I don't know. Sometimes you're in the mood, I reckon. There can't be too much, and definitely if you sleep by yourself downstairs, maybe don't watch anything that resembles horror.
What's the last horror movie you watched that you enjoyed?
Oh, look, it's probably not the last one, but do you know the Conjuring series? I think there's like maybe 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah,
I do remember watching that. I don't know how long ago, and the theme song from that scares the hell out of me. That gets stuck in my head, and it's game over. Essentially, I don't know. It actually scares me. I won't be afraid to admit that.
No, that's cool. So if I feel like pranking you and send you like a little text at 10 p.m. of the Conjuring music, you might get you a little bit.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I got you. I got another one for you. Windows down in the car.
Well, Jack, I would say this feels like a bit of an irrelevant issue at hand, but I don't mind discussing irrelevant issues. I rate it. When if it gets it's hot, it's not too hot for aircon, and you just want a bit of fresh breeze. Definitely rate it. Yeah.
Now you're talking.
It sounds like you have a. Oh, I was going to say. It sounds like you have a.
It's nothing too complicated. I just I went to Beth today for some rate or hates. So these are actually all hers. So these are all her rate and hates. So shout out to her for these. But she loves the window down, like to the point where I almost hate it. Like if we're hitting 100 kilometers, I'm getting slapped in the face by the wind. But I rate it. I still rate the window down most days.
It's not an extreme sport. It's just putting the windows down. But yeah, shout out Beth for doing most of the work for this podcast, by the way.
100%, right?
Actually, there is a point. If you're driving too fast and you put that window down and you get that really irritating like sound, I do agree with that.
Yeah,
bloody annoying.
Yeah, exactly.
Good one. I've got for you. I'm going to switch it to a bit of basketball related. So NBA draft picks who haven't panned out that eventually come to the NBL. So do you remember when like Johnny Flynn came over to the Tigers, and then I have heard there was something that came out. Matt Logue, who I think reports for Sydney, said that Melbourne were the names Jabari Parker and Michael Beasley were rumored to be linked with Melbourne United for some reason, like now or something. So that brought this topic to my head, and I'm like, do you rate or hate that when they don't pan out and then they come over here when they're a bit older?
It's, I like it. I like that you just hit the people with some inside goss, some NBL news, while hitting the rate or hate. And
I mean,
I
it
think
is out there.
historically, it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
I would say the best version that we got to really see that was a success was Josh Childress. When he played for
Yes, very
Sydney
good
and
point.
played for Adelaide, he was really, really, really good. He was a winner. But so I would have to say I hate it though for most cases.
I do think I think you're on the money there. I can't remember like many that have worked out extremely well, like the Al Harringtons of the world. He came to Sydney, right? Yeah,
Yep.
I think so. I don't know. Yeah, he came to a bit, and then. But in saying that, I'm a big Jabari Parker fan. So if he came over, if Michael Beasley came over, look, I wouldn't be against it. I reckon that'd be really cool, just for my
Yep.
own, personal enjoyment, so to
Yeah, of
speak.
course. No, of course. It's
Right.
one of those things that Jabari Parker and Michael Beasley were elite buckets in the league at one point.
Yeah, yeah. No, yeah. I reckon it would be intriguing for everyone for sure.
Yeah,
Next one,
100%.
hit me.
Last one, and it's not
Actually,
basketball related today again, obviously, because it's
I was
back.
gonna maybe I should ask Beth what it is, like, because you don't know what you talk. You don't. No, I'm kidding. Don't.
There
You
you
can
go.
say
I'm
it.
prepared. I've got them in my notes. I'm ready to go.
Good
Um,
man.
this is Beth and her brother came up with this one: skiing and snowboarding.
Do I have to rate or hate both, or just generalized?
As a unison, like
Oh.
the
No, I'll rate it. I'll rate it. I don't see like I'm not good at it. We recently, not too recently, but we tried snowboarding ourselves, and that is very hard. I will say that much. Have you ever tried either snowboarding or skiing?
no, I can't say I
Never.
have. Never.
Okay. You might have
Yes.
to. I reckon. Yeah, it's good fun to try, but snowboarding especially. I don't know. I struggled, and it was quite
Yeah.
fun. I bought actually my GoPro there, and I got the chest mount.
Yep.
Brought that, made some fun sort of content, but I actually did a little video. I'm gonna plug another YouTube channel. No, there's another video out there that it's pretty much my chest mount, but a lot of it is pretty much me just falling over, face first in the snow, heavy breathing. That was my snowboarding experience.
Wow. There you go. So
Good
you rate it
content.
though.
I rate it. I rate it. People enjoy it. I enjoy the challenge, and I see no reason to hate it. What do you think?
Well, I'm sad because like a big part of basketball and growing up playing basketball and having aspirations is I did a lot of things not to get injured or not to hurt myself, to not miss tournaments, and like now I couldn't do it because if I hurt myself, contract 2 years gone. So
Yeah.
that's something of basketball. Eventually, I would like to do it, but I have to say I hate it because I'm jealous of people that get to do it.
I don't mind that. Well, that's
Yeah,
a different reason to hate something, but
yeah.
I respect it. I respect
On
your
a, on a
wishes.
on a quick side note, there's a really cool guy on TikTok at the moment that is playing pickup games with that chest mount on, and the footage is pretty crazy. And he's like talking about like why he's making certain moves and attacking certain feet and positions while. So he might have to hook me up with it in a game with the chest mount. It'd be revolutionary.
In a game, I think that's a bit. I don't know what anyone would think. Your coaches would think of that. But that'd be cool. I'm all for good content.
All for good content.
That's a good segue. Not sure if you heard of Tanea Sawala. She's playing the WNBL, NBL one for the Dandenong Rangers and stuff. I've done some content with her, and we did that. I played her one-on-one just because I thought it would be funny going up against a pro athlete, and I had like a chest man on and played her a bit. It was good fun.
Yeah. How did the
I'll link
footage
you it.
turn out?
It was quite funny. Like she obviously was a lot better than me, and I just kind of like we were semi keeping score just for the fun of it. I'll have to link you it. It was quite enjoyable, to be honest. I enjoyed it.
Well, is it on YouTube or is it just
Just Instagram,
Oh
just
yeah.
the gram.
Well, there you go. You're gonna have to send
Yeah,
me that one for sure.
definitely. No, it's good fun. That'd be cool. Cool to get content.
Hit us off. Have you got one more? Or is it great gratitude time?
I've got two more, and I'm gonna let you choose.
I
Right?
love that.
So you can. I know we're all about options. You either got food again, or let's put it basketball entertainment.
'cause mine was so off topic, let's go basketball entertainment.
Good choice. Good choice. So mascots. Do we need them? What's their point? Do we rate them? Do we hate them? Are they lame? They're for the... Okay, I'm just elaborating, but go on.
I like it. I did a promo. If people don't know what I say when I say promo, that is like promotional work. So in the NBL, players are allowed to do up to 150 hours of promo work, which is going to the schools, doing stuff in the community. It's kind of stuff we're not paid to do, but we are. It's part of our contract, obviously. So yeah, that's what promos mean. That's what all the players call them and coaches call them, and that's just what they call in the business. So there you guys know. Now you know what a promo is. We did one where we went to a children's hospital. It was me and Matt Kenyon, and we were brand new in Tasmania, so no one knew who we were. And the Jack Jumpers, Jack is its name, mascot was there. And that was when mascots fully changed for me. Because, like, seeing the positivity this mascot brought, like, to young kids in particular from, let's say, 4, 5 to, like, 10, can be older, obviously, was unbelievable. Like, the smile on their faces, the energy they brought. And then I've been aware of it ever since at games. How excited young kids in particular get about mascots. So I'm a huge rater. So sorry if you're not, because I just went on that big spiel, but that definitely changed my idea of mascots. And talking to the guy that was under it, how fulfilling the work was that he did.
I love that, and I love it so much that it's persuaded mine to a strong rate now. Because I was kind of like, it's kind of sitting on the fence, if I'm being honest. I could kind of, swing up an argument for both cases, but you're right. Sometimes it's bigger than basketball and what they clearly do for kids, and even just for kids' entertainment at the games and stuff. That's pretty much what it's for. So, I also rate it.
Wow, so I might have just changed your opinion on a rate or hate.
You did. I won't even lie. You did. You just that story. I'm like, yeah, well, that's a very good point, and now I'd feel rude if I went against it. So here I am.
Well, because you're right, because they don't bring much to basketball or adults, but at the venue for little kids, it is as cool for them getting a high five from the mascot as it is from a player.
Yes, and I will say sometimes the mascot high fives me when I'm roaming around the game with my camera. So, shout out the Phoenix Birdman especially. They're everywhere.
Well, yeah, there you go. So now next time you're going to be like, hey, you're doing great work, Phoenix Birdman.
Yeah, exactly right. And I was going to say, one of the comments on Instagram as well was, forgot their name, but I think it was a gentleman. He said, he enjoys hearing the insights about our work. So that little spiel about what a promo is, I think that's exactly what the people want. Give them what they want.
Give the people what they want.
Yes. Can you spill some top insider Jack Jumpers information? Is it always the same person in that mascot?
Wow.
Do you know that?
There you go.
You can just keep it disclosed.
No, I'll expose it because I asked the same question. So the Jack Jumpers mascot is different people, particularly for promos. But during games, it's the same person most of the time. Okay. But they have different mascots. So they have mascots up north Tassie, throughout Tassie.
Have they ever had a mix-up and two Jacks rock up at the same venue? And it's been really awkward for everyone involved?
Well, there's actually only one outfit because it's extremely expensive to make a mascot outfit. Okay. You've got to make it from scratch.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I can't even picture what your mascot looks like at the moment. But hey, I'll do some Googling after this in my own time, won't I?
Well, it's a giant ant, so we'll definitely have to imagine from that.
We'll see.
What's your gratitude for the week?
So my gratitude, I'm grateful for being a spectator of basketball. Now, it's a simple thing, but I put down the camera and I just enjoyed which game was it? The Phoenix and Brisbane game. It was just enjoyable, honestly. I just brought my family along, my partner, my brother, my dad. My dad's a massive fan, so he appreciated it as well. But it's honestly just enjoyable to do nothing but watch the game for a change. Like, I feel like too often in my job especially, you're kind of doing two things at once when you're watching games. But as much as I love taking photos, taking videos, it was just honestly enjoyable watching the game and analysing it, seeing what it's all about. And you probably like two too often when I'm shooting games, people will be like, how was that game? And I would just be like, I actually don't know. Like, I didn't take it all in. Like, I didn't know as much as I should have, or as much as you'd expect. So
yeah,
that's my grateful for.
No, that's cool. It's cool how different basketball obviously is for you when you're viewing it than when you're working, when you're, doing your craft and focusing on getting your results and performing is a very different experience than when you sit back as a fan and just watch the game.
It really is. And yeah, it was honestly just enjoyable. So should try to do that more often, I'd say.
There you go, huh? You'll have to come down to Tassie and just come to a game then.
Just chill, just watch from the stands. That'll be good, actually.
Yep,
What are you guys for? Oh yeah, sure. I'll just contact Jack.
There you go. My grateful for, I've got kind of two this week, but they play into the same thing. It's my mum. So shout out to my mum, because she has listened to every single episode so far and listens to them on the way to work. So when you listen to this, mum, I hope you have a great day at work. Dominate it and have some fun. And then my second will lead on to everyone else that's listening. We really appreciate it. The Instagram's been active recently. You guys have been awesome in your responses and supporting. And I just hope you guys have a great day. And thank you very much for listening to Darren and I talk about some hoops and what we rate or hate.
That's a grateful for. But it's so true. Like me and you have both said offline that we've got some feedback, some comments, whether it's in person, whether it's on classic social media. But it actually is genuinely a good feeling when you can get one comment saying, hey, the podcast you're doing, love what you're doing, or they ask a question about it, take some interest. It's cool. It's actually cool, and we'll only keep getting better and growing, hopefully. But yeah, it's a good thing. Yeah.
Well, in that note, would you like to tell them our thoughts on kind of a future podcast coming up?
That leads well, because I was going to say we should we want to basically bring in our first guest, but kind of do it in a different light, like whether it's talking about their journey or whether it's targeting specific sort of angles. Like Jack and I both like that, sort of targeting something specific and really getting them in for something cool, something unique, and yeah, really nothing's off limits. So I reckon it'd be cool to throw in some names. Who do you guys want to see on the podcast? We've got some ideas floating away in the background, but if there's anyone you guys want to see, let us know.
100%. Shoot us a message. Say, this person, I'd love for you guys both to break it down with him about this topic or whatever it may be. And don't be afraid to leave some feedback on how these episodes are going, because we're learning every single episode, and you guys are a part of this journey as much as we are. So the feedback, we will take it into consideration, keep making small changes and upgrades, and we're just going to keep having fun with it, and hopefully you guys are too.
That is a great way to end it. Can't think of a better way to end it. So thanks for tuning in. See you next week.
See you guys.